تفضل. Fadl Hamza, you had a question?
What if someone gives you a free animal? Does it still count?
If someone gives you a free animal, that's fine. Once you receive the gift, you now own it, and you offer it for sacrifice, khayr inshallah, that's fine.
Also, if can you give someone it on your behalf?
Can you pay for someone else? You can give them the funds, inshallah. They're making the tamattu'. They have to offer the sacrifice. How they get it, how they obtain it, is a different story. Wallahu alam. Next question.
Question about, that's a question about someone, you can afford to go to Hajj, but for some reason you're sick and you can't. Can you pay someone to perform Hajj on your behalf?
With regards to someone who has the ability, but they can't do it, can you pay someone else, so on and so forth? Having someone else do Hajj for you, and you don't have the ability, khayr inshallah. Hajj is not to be done for someone who can do it themselves. Right? However, if you're sick, if you're ill, then that's an excuse. You don't have the sabil. Wallahu a'lam. Idris.
With regards to gender, financial status, and marital status, who is responsible for performing or paying for a sacrifice?
Paying for the sacrifice?
Yeah, or performing the sacrifice.
Udhiyah?
Yeah.
With regards to gender or financial role or status, who's responsible for the udhiyah? In brief, it's the man of the house. The imam of the house. And unfortunately, many households, the woman is the man of the household. There's no man. She's the imam of the household. Whoever is the breadwinner, whoever takes care of the bills, one animal suffices the entire household. Clear? Wallahu a'lam.
Alright, so according to the hadith, the Prophet made tamattu, right? But the scholars you said had different on it. So the other ulama, what delil they using?
You gotta check out the old recordings. Why they differ on what type of Hajj the Prophet ﷺ made. How he went into the haram, he said. How this happened, if I knew then what I know now, etc., etc., right? It's all explained in the beginning of the chapter when we spoke on the main styles of ihram. But they have proofs. They differ on the interpretation of many of the same hadiths that are used for tamattu or qiran. They differ on how to understand them. Clear? That's in brief. But it's explained in detail. And Allah knows best. Fadl akhi.
I have two questions. First question is, if you have an animal and say the animal is lost, the animal is stolen, what happens then? And also, if you are part of a family and your father is offering a sacrifice, would you have to offer a sacrifice to them?
With regards to animal that's lost or stolen, meaning on Hajj or Udhiyah?
For Udhiyah.
For Udhiyah. Khayr, inshallah. Hopefully you get the reward for it. Inshallah. If you have the money to replace it, try to do so. It's better and more reward. As far as the father slaughtering, if you live under your father's bread and broth, then it's sufficient. As far as if you pay your own, take care of your own, handle your own, but you may be staying at the house, but you have a basement apartment or an attic or a room, then it's different. And Allah knows best. Question is from online. Initials HA from Dallas, Texas. Are synthetic false lashes for women permissible? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Some modern day scholars say yes, there's nothing wrong with them, as long as they're not worn in an improper manner, non-mahram, etc. You wear them for your husband in the house. Your husband knows the original length of your eyelashes. Labas. And there are others who say no, whereas it falls under the generality of wasl, extending here, and it falls under the meaning of deception or trickery. It's not how you really look. let alone they're harmful to the eyes, some say. And the others may say they imitate facet women, kuffar women. So there are two main views on that issue. Wallahu a'lam. From online?
And this is H.A. Hamilton from Canada. Is it true the Prophet ﷺ told Ali not to marry a second wife when he married Fatima?
Is it true that Ali radiallahu ta'ala or that the Prophet ﷺ told Ali not to marry a second wife after Fatima, etc.? With regards to the station and the status of Fatima, and that which harms her, harms me, that which bothers her, bothers me, that's not an issue of discussion. Okay, but there's no woman that's like Fatima, right? So if you want to learn that as a seerah fact, no best. In the hadith, that's fine. The problem of polygamy is outdated. It's not for 2021. It's only for a specific situation. Total different discussion. Wallahu a'lam.
This is H.A. Hamilton from Canada. Is it necessary to study usul al-fiqh? The great scholars who do not follow madhab like Sheikh Albani study usul.
Is it necessary to study usul al-fiqh? Great scholars who did not study a madhab, did they study usul al-fiqh, etc.? It depends on how far you want to go and what you want to do. Alright? No doubt, if you're a student of knowledge, it's necessary to take even a primer course in it, a crash course in it. Necessary, absolutely necessary. The basics, no doubt. If you want to be independent or even understand the madhab that you're going to follow and study, you should learn the sort of fiqh. If you want to be independent, then it's a must, absolute must. Did great scholars who did not follow a madhab, such as Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah ta'ala, study usul al-fiqh? Of course. And the proof of that is found in the different arguments and the discussions in which they mention those terms and use those terms. Am, khas, mutlaq, muqayyad, qawl sahabi, shar'u man qablana, sadd al-dhara'i, mujtahid, mustafti, mujtahid, rasikh, right? هذا عالم. Nah? Wallahu a'lam. So go right or wrong? Alhamdulillah. Further, next question.
Nicholas Y.S. from UK.
Have you spoken to such and such on why doesn't he do online classes and more content? You have to ask that brother. Further.
Nicholas Y.S. from UK. Is it okay to switch off the recitation of Quran before the ending of an ayah? We should wait for the ayah to finish.
Is it okay to switch off the recitation of the Quran before the end of the ayah? Or is it best to play? It's not haram. Inshallah, perhaps best to allow it to stop. It's not necessarily just, impermissible or something like that. Allahu a'lam.
H.A. Hamilton, Canada. Is it okay for us to be fans of specific athletes and buy their shoes and jerseys even though they're non-Muslim and not cartoons?
Is it okay to be a fan of a specific athlete and to buy their jerseys and shoes, so on and so on and so forth? Right. Well, they're non-Muslim, so the brief answer is no. That's a type of love and admiration, which is a type of muwalat, loyalty and allegiance, which is impermissible for those who reject faith. Right? That's a general rule. As far as the practicality of it, if you're raised on sports, you're going to admire somebody. You're going to be a fan of this boxer, one way or another. That's how things are. And maybe worse than that. Allah knows best. What's important is the culture of sports, media, pop culture, it's a fitna. That's it. And many scholars, they say this is all from the signs of weakness of Tawheed and weak rejection of the Taghut. Denouncing the Taghut and all of the ways of the Taghut and the things that are associated with the Taghut. Like other faiths, they say the way of Babylon, right? You're not denouncing what? The way of Babylon. This money, saving this lifestyle, this hairstyle is all from the what? The way of Babylon. And you're supposed to renounce that. It's a reality. Similar concept. If you hate Babylon and its lifestyle, then you're supposed to what? Disassociate. So of course, that's not always possible in every situation. You get the point I'm trying to make. Right? Wallahu a'lam.
Yes, I'm okay. Assalamualaikum Mufti. I have an issue with overthinking, and I believe I let people walk all over me. Any advice?
You believe what? I'm sorry?
And I believe that I let people walk over me. Any advice on how to stop being a victim?
Advice on stop being the victim and allowing people to walk over you and overthinking things? Well, Allah surely knows best. Try your best to seek Allah's refuge from anxiety and from overthinking things. Try your best to live in the present. Reflect on the past. Make general plans for the future. Try your best to live during the moment. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Try it out, inshallah. Preventing people from walking all over you. You may have a soft nature, like many people do. You're soft by nature. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And sometimes a Muslim and a mu'min is naive. Sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to be a little naive sometimes. Sometimes being naive prevents you from other bad things. Hasad, or spying, or bad thoughts, or seeing things that are unnecessary to see. Ignorance is what? It's a reality. But to the point which people are doing harm to you, violating you, and it causes you pain and hurt afterwards, it's no longer blissful. So try to avoid people that run over you. Try to learn from your mistakes. Try to understand the difference between being heedless versus pretending to be heedless, etc. Wallahu a'lam. Question comes from Cairo, Egypt. Sam al-Musallim. What are some words of advice you would direct towards your younger self when it comes to seeking knowledge? من باب قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم لو استقبلت من أمري ما استدبرت. What would I change, or what hindsight, if I could look back then now? Well, no doubt I would have definitely, that's a hard question, because all of the different mistakes and the errors that I made and different things that I was caught up in, etc., that's what made me what I am today. That's what made me wise and strong. It made me appreciate and value. So from one aspect, I wouldn't change anything. But just general advice, I wish I would have sacrificed more and went overseas earlier and stayed longer. The first trip and the other trips as well. I wish I would have, those are the main things I would say right now. Wallahu a'lam. Right, last question from Instagram before we stop. Initials AN from Manchester, UK. Do all 7 people participating in cow sacrifice refrain from cutting hair and nails? The 7 people that come together with one cow, every section or every fraction of the cow is your lot. So you're mudahi with your 7th of the cow. So whatever the mudahi would or wouldn't do is what you're going to or not going to do, because your share is considered separate by itself. Wallahu a'lam. We'll stop here. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.